Hey everybody, I just wanted to talk to you about a few things. A lot of you are new to Monat and have heard some things about it that you might be concerned of, which is hair falling out. Why do I need to turn my heat down? Why does my hair feel weird? It felt better before. There are a lot of things about Monat that I want to be good as your rep to communicate to you all. I believe it's my job to tell you what you need to tell your hairstylist, why your hair is feeling this way, how you can fix it. So I have a great video I'm gonna put on in just a few seconds explaining Monat and the process that it does to your hair. It is taking your dirty, wax, silicone hair and stripping it of all those things we've put on it for years and years and years. And once we get there, it might feel a little weird. It didn't ever for me, but for people it has. Also, people have talked about their hair falling out. I will say you are typically supposed to shed, I believe, 100 pieces of hair a day. Well, I don't wash my hair every day, so I don't notice my hair falling out until I wash it. And it's just strands of hair that's typical and normal for your hair process, no matter what you're using. So that is not gonna happen to you, especially if you watch this video. And then I will tell you what you need to tell your hairstylist to make sure that your hair doesn't get over-processed and become something you don't want it to be. So watch this video.
Hello, Team Gold. I'm Mindy. Thanks, Tara, for having me on here and letting me do what I hope ends up being a good visual display. I tried to do a version of this in my own little group to do like a trial run with it. And it went pretty well, other than Kelsey called me out for making it look like something it wasn't. So, we had white tape. And now we have blue tape. Because I want this to work, and I hope that it works well, and that it'll be okay. What we're going to talk about today is what Monat... Hey, Esther! Esther just did one of these on her live, or in her group too, a live, and it was awesome. I was like, same page, same lines. Sorry, squirrel. We're going to talk about what Monat does to your hair, and why it's so important to take really, really good care of it when you're using Monat. So, this is your hair. I'm going to pretend like this piece of yarn is your hair. So as you go through life and you do things, you damage it and it gets ruined. And I'm going to just kind of rough this up as I talk. Hey, Tara. So you go outside and the sun gets to it and gets some damage and the wind does. And then there's environmental, and then you blow dry it and round brush it and you dye it, and there's chemical processes, and there's all these things. You're not sleeping on a silk pillowcase. You're brushing it hard. You're rubbing it with a towel when it's wet. There's all these things you do to your hair, okay? So we're not the best on our hair. Most people are not as gentle as they need to be. So we have this hair that I'm just gonna beat up and show you what happens. We have this really crabby hair. So that's your hair. And it's starting to look nappy, and it's falling apart, and it may be even breaking off, and it's frizzy and it's gross. And so you say, look at this nappy hair, I need to do something about it. And you go to the store and you get some products for it. These are your products. And you get those products whether they be drugstore, grocery store, or professional. You buy them from your stylist. You get them in a salon. You have all these products that you're getting because you want to take care of your nappy hair. You have gross hair and you need to fix it, right? So I have our products, and I have our nappy hair, and I'm going to take our products and I'm going to put it on our hair, because this product said that it's a great oil to help make hair shiny and smooth, and it does. It makes it shiny and smooth, but because it's full of silicones and waxes and parabens and all the yucky things. So we have this hair. Okay, that's your hair. I didn't get the nappy ends. You have this hair that now, look, feel that. Can you feel how smooth that is? Can you see how shiny that is? That must mean that my hair is now totally better, and it's smooth and it's shiny. Hey, Misty, and it's totally fine, right? No, no, it's not. It's not smooth and it's not shiny and it's not fine. It's plastic that we put on our hair. And so we get a little more because this stuff is working so good. I'm going to just keep using it, and I'm going to put more on my hair. And I'm going to just keep using this stuff because it's taking care of my hair and it's making it so much better. Look, those ends that were kind of crappy, look how good they are. There's nothing that is fuzzy and frizzy and gross. This is everybody's hair pre-Monat. Everybody. Whether you use a ton of products or not, this is your hair pre-Monat. So what Monat does is it gets in there and it goes, okay, I don't have the parabens and the silicones and the waxes. I'm plant-based. I'm going to go in there and I'm going to take this all off and eat it up. Because this hair under here, it's suffocating. That can't breathe. That yarn hair under there, it can't breathe. It's suffocating. It's dying. It's not getting any nourishment. Even if you were putting good stuff on your hair, it can't get any of it. Nothing can penetrate this. And the hair industry has actually increased the temperature on all our heating tools because guess what? If this is a natural curly hair, I can't get heat to that natural curl because there's so much. It has to penetrate through so much to get to that and curl it. If I want to curl this, that's not going to curl easy. Not without a ton of heat. And then it'll curl. And the silicone and waxes will curl. And that's what we've kind of trained ourselves to think, is that we need higher heat and we need more stuff, when really, we just need to get to the real hair. So you get Monat, and you start using it. And you slowly start taking away those layers. It's taking off all that buildup. It's taking off the silicone. It's taking off the waxes. And pretty soon, everybody's different. I call this the transition phase. Everybody transitions differently. Some people don't even really notice it at all and don't do it at all. I personally did it for about 7 weeks. I had 7 weeks of transition. And what does transition mean? The short and blunt version, really crappy hair. It means my hair sucked for about 7 weeks. It was awful. Awful hair because it's transitioning. And it's sad and it sucks, but guess what? This is where it gets good. I got everything off of it. Look what's left. Look at that hair. That hair is nappy and it's awful. It wasn't doing anything under those years and years of silicone and buildup other than suffocating. So now, suddenly I'm using Monat and my hair is really bad. Like, it's awful. It was way better. With all the silky and smooth, it wasn't. This is my real hair. You have raw hair now. Now Monat can go in and it can nourish it. And it can strengthen it, and it can actually smooth it out. Our Rejuvenique oil is patent pending because the molecular size is so tiny, it goes into your hair strand. It penetrates into the cortex of the hair. It's not sitting on top, smoothing it out like a layer of tape. It's in there, in the raw, real hair. But what does this mean for us? 2 things. 1, it means it takes time. It takes it a minute to get this malnourished hair back to good hair. And there's a chance that these ends will be so bad because of years of neglect and taking that buildup off that you think is good. Oh man, I'm not left-handed. That's the best thing to do. That's the best thing to do. Trim them off. Give yourself a good trim. Do not neglect trims, especially when you're transitioning in your first few months. It's not sad anymore. It's happy and it's healthy and it's getting there. But while it's getting there, this is what is so, so important to remember. This is raw hair. This is raw. This is real. You cannot treat this real, raw hair the same way you were treating it before. You can't use a high heat because look, there's nothing to penetrate. If you put the heat, a flat iron, like this is my visual of a flat iron. You had a flat iron with the tape that you had to hold on there forever with high heat because it couldn't get to the hair. Your hair's there now. If you use that same heat, you are going to fry this baby. You're going to cook it. Hair burns at the same temperature as paper. Did you know that? The same temperature. That's not very high. Paper burns really easy. Turn your heat down. Turn your heat down on your products. Another thing you need to be really careful with is styling it. If you are someone who highlights your hair, which is awesome and great, we love our blondes, you've got to be careful. Maybe even suggest to your stylist to not do such a high developer. There's like, yes, Leslie, right? I am. There's like 10, 20, 30, 40 developer. Lower your developer if you're going to highlight your hair. But my suggestion for your first few months, try not to. Try not to chemically process this raw hair because it is so important to get it healthy and strong first. If you can. I'm not telling you can't dye your hair. But just be aware. Be wary. When you're drying it and when it's wet, don't rough it up with a towel. Be really smooth, really gentle. Only comb it wet with a wide tooth comb or a wet brush. And even then, be really careful. It's super, super fragile. We have to be extra careful. It's why a lot of people will say, like, I've seen a lot, I've been using Monat for 2 months and now my hair's breaking and it's yucky and it's fried. And I want to say, yeah, you just got all that buildup off and you're probably doing the same thing to it right now that you were doing to it pre-Monat. And you can't. You have to be so gentle and careful with these guys for a few months. Just a few months. And then, can you hear that? You probably can't. This is so strong. You're using Monat, you're taking the S3, you're doing overnight oil treatments with Rejuvenate oil. This hair is strong. I'm not suggesting to beat it up, but I am suggesting it does get better. If you can push past that transition and nourish and strengthen it, your hair will be amazing and incredible. And you will be blown away by what it can do. But you have to baby it. You have to be so careful and gentle with it. Another analogy I love is the acrylic nail one. I don't know if we've said it on here or if you've heard it, but anyone that's had acrylic nails, okay, you put a fake nail on. And they're usually thicker and they're awesome and they're long and you're like, look at my nails, and you can scratch someone's back and it's great. Well, either they grow out or you just can't function with them anymore and you take those acrylic nails off. This real nail that's underneath is so sad. He is dry, he is brittle, he's like bends and fall apart and breaks. If you have acrylic nails on for like even 2 months and you take them off and you go to scratch someone's back, your nail will completely just bust apart and break and crack because it's been suffocated. It hasn't gotten anything, and it takes a little bit of time to get that nail strong and healthy and long again and nourished. It's the same thing with your hair. It's just time and TLC. You've got to give it both, and you've got to be so careful and gentle.
All right, so now that you've watched that video, hopefully you understand a little bit more about the Monat process and why it is so important to use it instead of all those other nasty hair products that we all gravitate towards because someone's told us about it or it's cheap, $3, $4, whatever it is. You don't want to put that stuff on your hair. Monat is so much less water than all those others. So that will last you 3 to 4 months, depending on how often you wash your hair. I wash my hair every 3 to 4 days, and I've still had stuff since I got it probably in February. And this is June 16th right now, 2018. So if you have questions, please reach out to me. I want to make sure that you are loving your hair and you are happy with it, all right?